Alright, picture it. It's 2010, and it's a cool, brisk autumn morning, and you're getting ready for school. And you got a few dollars in your pocket, all crumpled up because you're so excited, because today is the Scholastic Book Fair. As you walk into the library, you see a bunch of shelves lined up with a bunch of books that, to be quite frank, you just don't care about. Because right next to all those books is a table with the coolest stuff you've ever seen. Keep in mind, you're like 8 years old, but with the coolest stuff you've ever seen. Now, what's normally on these tables are a bunch of little gadgets and gizmos and posters that you definitely don't need, and they probably shouldn't be selling at a book fair. But at the same time, they know they gotta make money somehow, and so you walk over to that table and you see a really cool calculator that says it's a chocolate calculator. And it looks like it's a chocolate bar. It's got the wrapper and everything, but if you open it, it looks like a chocolate bar. And what's even better is that it smells like a chocolate bar. On top of that, to the right was this really cool poster of a car. And so you pick both of them up and you're debating, which one do you really want more? Do you want the chocolate bar, or do you want the car poster that you will hang in your room and then eventually take down after 3 years, because then you realize this is a really dumb poster? And as you grab both and sigh because you're about to waste the $25 your mom just gave you, you turn around and, believe it or not, one book catches your eye. You walk up to it, and at first glance you think, man, is that Yoda, but like really wrinkly? And then upon further inspection, you realize you're right. This book, it was no ordinary Star Wars book. You pick it up and you look at it, and that book says, The Strange Case of Origami Yoda. Now, before you go rolling your eyes at me, hold on. I know, it's not what you were expecting as a Star Wars book, and by the title being like, ooh, Lost Star Wars series. It's a good book, and let me explain why. First off, there's not just one, or two, or even 3 books, or even 4. There's like, I don't know, show a picture of how many there are. Yeah, there's that many, and I have 4 of them. Okay, now here's the part where you're probably gonna get angry at me. I don't remember anything about these books, story-wise. I don't remember anything story-wise about these books. Because if I'm going to be completely honest with you, the story, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's a basic, like, you know, kid storybook where it's like, I'm pretty sure the plot is about these kids in middle school named like Dwight and Tommy. This kid named Dwight is just, you know, making some origami and ends up making Yoda, and he puts on his finger, and then Yoda can see the future. And now his friend Tommy is like, how can Yoda see the future if the guy using the puppet, Dwight, is so stupid? And then that's like basically the whole book. And then, well, at least that's the first one. And then like the second one is called Darth Paper Strikes Back. And this is where their arch nemesis named Harvey makes, you know, Darth Paper. And then it's then kind of like how, you know, Paper Yoda fights Paper Darth Vader, and they kind of like make out a little bit. That's not important. So anyway, like I said, the story, not important. But you know what was important? At the end of each book, if you flip to the last few pages, you would find instructions on how to make the origami puppets in each book. This was huge. They would make these cute little doodles on how to fold the paper and make your own origami Yoda, or Darth Paper, or Jabba the Puppet, or your Fortune Wookiee. I'm not making that up. Jabba the Puppet and Fortune Wookiee. Don't judge me, okay? I was like 8 years old at the time, okay? Now, the reason I love these books is because, well, when I was younger, I hated books so much. I hated reading. I'm not like that now. I actually do enjoy reading. I know you won't believe it. I'm telling you, I know I enjoy reading, okay? But young me would make a bunch of these origami puppets with Yoda, Darth Paper, Han Foldo. I'm not making this up. Han Foldo. This shit was real. I'd make a bunch of them. And it was really funny because they would always think of a bunch of little names for each little puppet, except for Mace Windu. They literally just called him Mace Windu, and that was it. So that part was weird. Young Jawabala would be reading this book, but in reality would be folding a bunch of little origami puppets for his friends. And then, you gotta remember, when I was in school, the first 3 of the Star Wars movies came out. First 3 as in like 1, 2, and 3, not like 4, 5, and 6. Star Wars is a little confusing. So I would be sitting there at my desk with a bunch of my friends with our little tiny puppets, reenacting each movie. Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, that movie where Padme hits on a child, If my friends were actually reading their books, I would then try to read these books, and I can appreciate it because they would have little doodles on the book to make it more enjoyable to read. Because, again, I hated reading, and I liked comic books. So this was like as close to a normal book with almost comic book-like stuff in there that you can get. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyways, now before you click off this video and go, wow, that was the whole story, there's a little bit more. If you're from the States, States is slang for United States, by the way. If you were in the States, we had this thing called summer reading. Yeah, it sounds terrible. That's because it was. Instead of enjoying your nice, beautiful summer, no, you had to read a book and put post-it notes in there so that the teachers knew you were reading those sick fuck. So I decided to read most of these books for my summer readings, and yeah, like I said, I don't remember much about the story, but I made the cool puppets and I brought them into school, and the teacher was like, "Wow, you must have read the book if you've made the little puppet from the book." And I was like, "Yep." You know, if I read more books when I was younger, I probably wouldn't be this stupid. If it makes you feel better, I did end up reading like all the Harry Potter books when I was like 10. So, I don't know, like 2 years after getting these books, something clicked and I learned to read and enjoy it. So, I swear, I do like books. But back then, nope. So basically, the whole point of this video is just to tell you a story of how young Juwabala got tricked into buying a book and having to read it. But hey, at least I got some cool finger puppets out of it. Now, with every story, there must be tragedy. And this story has a very tragic moment. I, at one point, lost every single puppet I made. I don't have Darth Paper or Origami Yoda, not even Jabba the Puppet. I know. But don't shed a tear for me, because you know what? I still have the books. All 3. I threw the other one over on the bed, so I'm not going to go get it. But I have all 3 of the books. And each book, like I said at the end, tells you how to make each puppet. So to avenge all the puppets I've lost over the years, God rest their souls, I will now put up on the screen each direction for each puppet. So that way, maybe you can make a puppet, a little origami Star Wars puppet. Or not. I mean, it's up to you, honestly. You don't have to do anything. You could just keep watching the video, and if you're like really cool, you can hit like and subscribe. Did you know every time I say subscribe, you look at the subscribe button and it glows? I'm not even joking. Try it. Exit, minimize the video, look down, subscribe. It did that thing, right? It did like the little glowy thing. Because if it didn't, that makes me look stupid. And honestly, that'd be a little embarrassing. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's story. And remember, books are evil if you're like 8 years old. But every other age is pretty good. It's pretty good. That's all for today's video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye now. Au revoir. Bye-bye. Anyways, I hope you